money you are owing her?
Yes.
I'm not Papa. You are still lying. You are lying.
I can't be lying to you now.
You are lying to me.
Ginika, I swear my life, I'm not lying. It's the money I owe her.
The money you owe her?
Yes.
Animal.
So guys, if you're actually looking for the update on when the season 3 and 4 is going to be dropping at the right place, kindly watch the video to the end to know when it's going to drop. But before then, let's actually take a deep dive on what's really happening. So this story happens to actually be the story between, two lovers that are actually married. And this happens to actually be Ifena and, Genika. And Genika happens to actually have a sister called Uju. But before we actually get to the story of Uju, let's actually take a deep dive on their both of them character. So if he happens to actually be the guy that is actually married, but he has his eyes outside. Anytime he actually sees a new lady that he actually likes, he tries much to go for her, and he tells her that he's going to give her this, that, and that. There was actually a faithful day where he was actually, in the bar having talks with this girl that happens to actually be a stranger. He actually told her a lot of things that they should actually spend the night together. But, he actually fears his wife a lot, and whenever he hears the voice of his wife or they say that his wife is around, he tries much to actually flee from the scene because he feels that his wife is going to actually bounce on him for whatever reasons, and she's the type that she's actually jealous. He doesn't want to share Ifena with anybody, and he doesn't want to actually be contempted or try as much to stay with only his wife. He wants to have his wife and everybody else that seems to come his way. And they've actually been a lot of problem up to the extent where Ifeana's brother actually came around to stay with them with his wife, but this problem was the reason why you know they couldn't actually stay. So after staying for a couple of days with them, they had no choice than to pack their load and actually leave the house because they actually felt that they couldn't actually withstand such a thing to be actually happening in their face. And them, they are of a family that they don't actually do such a thing, so they had to leave, and they will actually be communicating from afar. But even and the wife continue living together. But the neighbors and everyone is just seem concerned about their lifestyle and everything. On this fateful day, Genika and Ifina was actually together in the room, and Ifina just tried as much to actually get to the bedroom to actually do something. And before he came back, Genika have actually tried as much to check his phone to see the kind of girls he's actually talking to. Then she discovered that he actually said he's going to give, or probably he actually bought a wine for a lady for a sum of 100,000, and he actually might actually be the stingy type at home, and is not actually spending such amount of money for her. you know. Then she had no choice than to actually fly up that he's actually wasting the money that they had to manage for themselves as family. He's spending such a thing as giveaway for the girls that is actually seeing and all that. So that has actually been a problem because she can't actually stay with him without you know watching him and checking his phone, and checking your partner's phone is actually one of the problem that lovers usually have when it comes to commitment and trying as much to see or watch your partner and all that. It just brings or digs up things that you don't actually expect or want to see, and you might actually handle situation like you shouldn't have handled it. And that's actually the problem because she's the angry type, and she doesn't know how to use calmness to actually ask questions that who is this person and all that, up to the extent where she saw a contact on his phone that happens to be a name called Ineka. Then she dressed up, went up to the extent where she went to go and meet Ineka by the road, confronted her, and slapped, do a lot of things to Ineka. And Ineka happens to the type that she didn't just take it calmly, also she had no choice than to go report to the police that this is the whole thing that is actually happening. So they came to actually arrest Genika from her house and all that, but she tries much to run, and they keep on chasing and all that. So now that another problem actually arise, the sister, which happens to be Uju, noticed the whole thing and went to tell Ifena's brother that this is the thing that's actually happening. But Ifena's brother actually likes Uju, who happens to be the lady that came to report. It was just eyeing her and trying as much to see her from the back and all that. It was just admiring her. I don't really know if he wants to have anything to do with her, but he also actually likes the lady. that went on. Now, Uju, on the other end, came to meet Ifena that, why is he doing such a character that, why is he treating the sister that way, that the sister actually loves him truly and all that. But he actually felt that that's an opportunity for him to, toast Uju. Then he went on to actually, tell Uju that, see, I actually like you from all this while. Someone that, that tries much to actually, change his character. She was actually telling her that he actually loves her, he admires her, that she's the beautiful type, telling her a lot of sweet, sweet words that, could make her actually, fall in love with him, and forgetting the fact that she happens to be his sister-in-law, that's his own wife's sister, and, Jenica was not actually around when all those things was happening. So she went back to her room, then she started pondering everything that, the guy said. And I believe that, that's the genesis of the whole problem that I'm going to have because, Jenica actually feels that his sister is actually on her side, and they're trying as much to make sure it's not the cheating type, but trying as much to make sure that it's not the type that is not flirting around. But someone that she actually trusts to be her sister is about betraying her now because right now that she's Jenica's sister, who happens to be Uju, is actually single. She doesn't have a boyfriend of her own. As much as she has a boyfriend of her own now, it will have been a different case. She won't actually consider all the words that is actually saying. But the fact that she stays with them and she doesn't have a boyfriend, she went on to her room and she was just replaying all the old words that he was saying, that he has been admiring her, she's beautiful, she's the wonderful type and all that, and that's actually getting into her head. Right now, I believe that next thing we're going to see is the affair between Ifena and Uju, which happens to be Jenica's sister. And I believe that such a thing is going to actually, come as a betrayal and is going to, destabilize her the more because she doesn't actually take people that are actually having an affair with her husband from the outside lightly, not to talk of someone that happens to be her true sister that is actually living with them. That would be a lot of problem and I don't know how everything's going to end up, but let's watch and see how it's going to end up. And I believe that there's a lot of problem coming in, but it's very advisable to people that they should be contented and not trespass to dating your wife's sister, because at the end of the day you don't know how she's going to take such a thing, and no matter how calm she can be, she's going to actually fly up discovering that such a thing is actually happening under her watch. So, and when it comes to the season 3 and 4, it's going to be coming outside on Saturday definitely.